Welcome to the Bottle Poppin' Podcast, where Meg and Heather share their love for oils, friendship, and entrepreneurship. Let's get it poppin'.
Hey everyone, this is Meg.
Hello, this is Heather.
And we are the Bottle Poppin' Podcast. So what are we popping open today?
I'm excited about this one, Meg. This one is one of my absolute favorites. I will say this is my number one oil used this year. So
Wow.
I feel like, I've got lots of oils that I love, but this one is great. We are going to pop open a bottle of Copaiba and pronounce different ways where you hear it. I always say it that way. I've heard you say Copaiba before. I know they've pronounced it that way at convention before. It's sourced from Brazil. So maybe when they were sourcing, it's pronounced more Copaiba.
Right.
I always call it Copaiba.
Well, and I don't think there's a right or wrong way, because even within the founders, the 7 founders of doTERRA, they all say it differently as well. So, however you say it, it's an awesome oil.
Depends on if you're feeling fancy when you want to talk about it, I guess.
Ooh, Copaiba.
I love the smell of this one. It's very simple to me. I feel like there's a lot of oils that are really strong scented, and so they stand out one way or another. This to me is very, very soft and soothing smelling. I know that is not a good description at all when you're trying to have a better understanding of what something smells like. It smells woodsy, but not like cedar wood or Siberian fir, not like that type of tree. It's so soft. What about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. It smells, woody and soft. I agree. Grounding. I'm kind of thinking, envisioning like a room maybe that's wood paneled with a fireplace. It's like that comforting, cozy smell that
Cozy.
type of room should have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kazelic or a huga. That's what I'm smelling.
Yes. And interestingly enough, on doTERRA's website, they actually describe the aromatic description as spicy and woodsy or woody. I don't get spicy at all. I guess I can have a little bit of the undertone behind the softness there, but spice is not the first word that would come to my mind with this oil.
Yeah, no, I can definitely smell the spice, but I agree. It's an undertone for sure. And I don't know, if I hadn't heard that it's spicy, I don't know that I would smell that initially.
Correct. And I think it's more because they are comparing the properties of it to black pepper, which is obviously a quite spicy oil. So I'm going to get into why I love this one, and then we can talk a little bit deeper about the benefits of it. First of all, this oil is very relaxing. The smell alone just feels relaxing. And so I feel like, I'll reach for balance or adaptive or something if I need to kind of calm down. But this one, everything about it just makes me feel calmer. And so this oil can be used all 3 ways. It's got the little supplements facts box on the back. And so a drop under the tongue goes really well to kind of calm things down, smelling from the bottle, applying to the back of my neck or behind my ears. I love this oil for calming. However, my one way of using it this year has been for pain and inflammation control, because I have had, I'm over 40 now, and I've had weird things, start hurting randomly. You sleep funny and all of a sudden, you've got this crick in your neck and it's won't go away for days at a time. Never happened in my 30s. So, so I had a couple of months ago, this period of time where I was having neck tightness, but then I was having those tingling and numbness symptoms down my fingers and arms intermittently. And it was driving me crazy. I do physical therapy for work. And so I have my hands on people. I need use of my hands and arm. And so I started reaching for this oil, and I would apply it twice a day. I would put it over kind of my neck and top of my shoulder there. Sometimes I'd rub it down my arm, and I was doing it twice a day. And it took several days for it to go away. But at the same time, when it finally subsided, I was so excited about it. And then my foot, I don't know, we've got tile floors now, and I feel like the ball of my foot is always sore for some reason. Not quite plantar fasciitis, but soreness under the bone. So I don't know. At night, every single night, I start applying Copaiba right at the ball of my foot and along the bottoms of my toes. I sleep great, right?
I bet.
Relaxing.
Yeah.
But I feel like the pain has subsided now too. Even though I don't have the pain in the ball of my foot anymore, I continue to apply it because it's got so many other health benefits. So I keep using it. But the 15 ml used a lot, the roller bottle used every night. And it actually comes in one other way, which is the soft gels.
Yeah.
Also good to relax. I honestly just don't think about them as much because I like the taste of this too. So a drop under the tongue feels fine without the soft gels. Soft gels are easier for travel. I guess I do that. I bring them with me so that I can take it that way if I need to.
Yeah, that's exactly when I use it. So I normally at bedtime just use a Serenity soft gel, which is another one of doTERRA's products. It's specifically for sleep. But when I travel and I'm in a strange space, I like to do one Serenity and then one Copaiba or Copaiba. Now I'm like questioning what the right word is, and even though they're both right. Soft gel, just because it gives you that added layer of relaxation and just ensures you're going to get a good night's sleep, even though you're not in your bed in regular space.
Agreed. So I was very excited, obviously, of the way I've been using it. I love this oil. I probably talked a little too quickly.
No, not at
So
all.
your turn. You share. How do you love this oil?
So I really like this oil. I don't know that I use it as much as you, but thankfully maybe it's because I'm not struggling right now very much with aches and pains, but I do know it's amazing for that. And as far as aches and pains go, I have for years now, and I think I shared this in the very first episode, the combination of lavender, peppermint, and frankincense is my go-to for headaches, and it works so well. But adding this oil to that combo just takes it to the next level. And again, just because it's anti-inflammatory, it's soothing, it does so many different things to help relieve pain that it's really nice to add to that. And I like it in diffuser blends too, just to have that undertone of woodiness. I especially do that more in like the winter and fall because it just adds to the cozy feeling, you know? So yeah, I'm a big fan of this oil. I thought it was really interesting when this oil came out, which I think we determined it was 2018 or 2019 that doTERRA started offering this oil.
It was one of those years. I think my notes are from 2019, but I think it's more comparing Copaiba and CBD, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I was going to go because I felt like at the time CBD was just becoming more and more popular as well. And so they did spend a lot of time educating us on the difference between this and CBD. So the big difference and obvious difference is that CBD comes from the marijuana plant and Copaiba actually comes from the sap of a tree. So totally different plant. But then also comparison wise, this does so many different things that people buy CBD to do, but it's probably more effective because it's an essential oil. And so Heather, I don't know if you want to share a little bit about what this oil does that's different from CBD.
Yes, but I think the one thing that you just didn't mention was that you don't get the high that you get with CBD.
Yes, good point.
With this Copaiba. So some of the things that they taught us of the differences of it was the Copaiba is actually a blend of 4 different species of trees, which is kind of fun. But that also makes it more complex. It gives it a higher metabolic potential and that it's longer lasting in the system. I think the half-life of Copaiba is quite long, so it's going to stay in your system for a lot longer, giving you those positive health benefits a lot longer as well. The diversity of the chemistry allows for a bigger variety of benefits. So again, it's affecting multiple systems in your body. It's got that direct receptor activation. So you can know that it's directly connecting with the systems in your body that you're trying to affect, whether it's your immune system, your cardiovascular system, inflammatory system. And then 1 to 3 drops was sufficient enough to activate that endocannabinoid system in multiple different outcomes. So depending on what you were trying to achieve, you really only needed those 1 to 3 drops to make that happen. And you're going to have it feel better for a longer period of time. I've never tried CBD, so I can't necessarily compare how often you have to use it to be able to get the same effects. But when I have used Copaiba, once is usually sufficient for that time frame of day. Now, when I was having acute symptoms, I was doing morning and night, but more just because I like to be really proactive and stay on top of things. I love this oil for how many things it can positively affect. Mm-hmm. It can take me down a notch stress-wise so that I'm able to be present and yet feel good and all of the things that I need to do for my family and my daily life. So this oil's been great for me. Sorry, that was long, but
no, that was really good. The one thing I'll say with the CBD versus oil, I have tried a few different CBD products, and if you're just like base level, don't know anything about the science, the price, there's a huge difference.
Interesting.
Copaiba is way more affordable than CBD. And even just like, I'm not talking about Delta 8 that gets you high, but just a regular CBD that should do everything but make you high. The price is so much more affordable to do doTERRA. And then another thing that we read is that doTERRA will not ever carry CBD because they can't ever get the quality level that they require. So doTERRA has certified pure tested grade oils, and they cannot get that level of quality consistently with CBD, and nobody can, which is why doTERRA is not even pursuing at this point any CBD products. Instead, they went the route of getting this Copaiba to be able to meet all of those needs and provide all the health benefits that come with CBD or can come with CBD if you can get it pure enough.
Okay.
So that definitely is a selling point.
It definitely is a selling point. And then I think that people are a lot more aware now, whether it's food labels or toxics in, daily products that they're using, shampoo, makeup, stuff like that. Are people investigating the sourcing of the CBD products that they're buying? Like if you walk into a CBD store, does it talk about where they've sourced everything? Because do you know that you're not getting something that's laced with a bunch of synthetics, honestly?
Yeah, I'm sure there are some boutique CBD stores that do have that, but I'm almost positive most of them don't. And it's a retail person selling a product. So the chances of them being able to give you that level of information is very slim. And I know we've mentioned this in the past, but again, Copaiba, like all of doTERRA's oils, on the bottom of the bottle, it's got that number, and you can go to the website Source to You and put it in and then pull up all of the testing on it. So like Heather and I can talk all day about how amazing doTERRA's testing is, but you literally can go in and see it. And they do both third-party testing as well as in-house testing. And so the combination of the two, most companies don't do that type of transparency either. So we've got multiple checks to ensure the quality, and it's huge.
Well, and speaking on that same direction, but from a different side of it, the sourcing and hearing the farmer stories. This is one of those really good sourcing videos if you haven't watched that one. So the Copaiba tree can live up to 400 years and it can grow up to 100 feet tall. Now, they want to make this a sustainable practice. So when they are getting the resin from the tree to be able to use for the oil, they don't tap new trees. They only tap trees that are X amount of years old so that they can make sure that they are prolonging the life of the tree from a sustainability standpoint, but yet also being able to get the resin. So they care so much for the trees that they are getting this oil from too, which is absolutely wonderful too.
Yeah, there's one video in particular where it's Emily Wright, who's one of the founders, and she's like holding a little like water bottle under a tree that's been freshly tapped, and just like the joy on everybody's faces. It's beautiful. I'll have to try to find it and we'll put it in the show notes so that you guys can go watch this, because it's just cool to know where your stuff is sourced and see the impact it's having on the people.
And how much the people that are sourcing it care so much about the product that they're delivering to you too. Like this is their livelihood and they want the cleanest thing available. And then, we access the cleanest thing available. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like that beautiful side. I love that part of doTERRA.
I'm not crying. You're crying. Okay. Well, anything else we want to talk about here?
No, I could probably keep talking about this oil, but I think there's only so much that we need to share. So if you want to learn more, by all means, ask us questions on our post in Instagram when we post this episode, or every third Thursday, we have our Ask Us Anything that, if you've got a question about Copaiba or something else, hop on and we can talk more about Copaiba too.
Yeah. So that is a free class over Zoom. We'd love to have you join us. We really enjoy interacting with everybody who listens to this podcast. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. Make sure you subscribe so you don't ever miss an episode. We have a new episode every Friday, and we so appreciate you taking the time to listen.
Can I say one more thing too?
Of
Sorry.
course.
We are able to kind of see where people are listening from. And I just want to say I am super excited and thank you to our international listeners.
Yes.
We have quite a few different countries that have played an episode or however many from our podcast. And I'm very excited about that. And just thank you.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. All right. Have a great week.
Thanks for tuning in. For more information, you can follow these bottle poppin' ladies at bottlepoppinpodcast.com. Tune in next week to learn about what bottle we're poppin'. Until next time, take care. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.